Hey, what's up guys? Josh from TrailBuilt. A few videos ago, we had filmed an unboxing of a Method race wheel. It was a matte black model 106 beadlock, which are available on trailbuiltoffroad.com, that we're gonna be installing on Brent's square body with a set of BFG KM3 mud terrains. Well, in today's video, we're gonna be heading on over to Brent's shop and showing you guys how easy it can be to mount a tire onto a beadlock wheel with just a few quick tips and tricks. But before we do, also remember that we have our Method race wheels giveaway going on right now until May 15th. So for your chance to win a set of 5 Method wheels, make sure and get entered today by heading on over to our website. It's trailbuiltoffroad.com/giveaway. Otherwise, we'll also have a link posted in the description below. Now, before we take off to Brent's shop, Memorial Day weekend is approaching fast, and I know a whole bunch of us are itching to get out of our houses and go do some off-roading and camping or on some kind of adventure that weekend. So if you're looking to get a set of wheels and tires or a suspension lift for your rig from us at trailbuiltoffroad.com, then now is the perfect time to order to make sure your rig is all ready to go and dialed in by Memorial Day weekend. Plus, with a variety of special financing options available, including a 0% option, it'll definitely help spread that lump sum out a bit and keep some of those extra funds available for Memorial Day weekend if that's the option you choose to go with. But at least you know there's options available to you. All right guys, with that said, let's go ahead over to Brent's shop. So make sure and smash that subscribe button so that way you guys can hold on to the ride with us. Ready? Let's go. All right, so now that we got everything unboxed and laid out here, we have our grade 8 hardware, which is gonna use a 1/2-inch socket. We have our ring, our beadlock ring. We have the valve stem, which we're gonna leave this little chrome piece off of there. It's a little too much chrome for
chrome don't get you home.
So from here, we have our soap and water we're gonna use to we're going to use it as a lubricant so that when we mount the tire, it's going to slide on around the rim of the wheel a little bit easier, a little bit better. And then we have our torque wrench there, and we're not going to use anti-seize on this particular application. So without using anti-seize, the recommendation torque level is going to be between 18 and 24 foot-pounds of torque. So we got a torque wrench, we got our socket wrench, we got all the hardware we need. So we're going to go ahead and get started mounting the tire.
On. There we go.
Now from here, we're gonna make sure that this lip here, the bead lip of the tire, is gonna be centered around the outside rim of the wheel, so that way when we put the ring on, everything's centered and it's not off canter. So what Brent does to center this is actually he's going to put it on a bucket here, and then it'll almost like self-center on there, so that way it's lined up evenly. All right, so before we get too far into it, one of the things we want to do right away is install the valve stem. Now, if it's one of Method's different designs where there may be a valve stem that could protrude out far enough where mounting the tire could get in the way and you could potentially damage the valve stem while mounting the tire, then you may just want to wait until after you've mounted the tire to the wheel to put the valve stem in like we're doing here. All right guys, so now that we have the bucket underneath the wheel and we have it so that the open part of the bucket is facing up and the wheel sits almost perfectly right in the center there, and it centers itself so that ring can be evenly displaced around the entire outside of the rim of the wheel. So another thing too to keep in mind is when mounting the ring, sometimes you can get a bead of the tire that's a lot thicker than some other tires out there. If that's the case and you start mounting that ring to the wheel and you start breaking bolts off from over torquing, it means that there's too much space in between the wheel and the outer ring that you're trying to bolt down. So if that's the case and there's too much space and you're starting to break off bolts as you're tightening them down, then you may need to get what's called beadlock ring spacers. The ring spacers will go in between the wheel and the outer ring to help compensate for that gap that's in there. So with that said, let's go ahead and let's get this ring mounted. And then when putting in the bolts, when screwing them in to get them started, always make sure to hand thread them in first. Worst thing that could happen is you cross thread the bolts by using a tool or impact, and now all of a sudden you got damage to your brand new method wheel. So just get the bolts started by hand threading them in. And then for tightening down the bolts too, we're just gonna go around and tighten all of the bolts down evenly. So to tighten them down evenly, what we're gonna need to do is tighten them down so that it's in a star pattern, and it'll describe that too right on the directions that method sends along with them. So we're basically gonna start here, go 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 here. Basically in a big star shape. So not too difficult to do. All right guys, so now that Brent has gone all the way around and did the star pattern shape to tightening down the bolts so that they're all snug, the next thing we're gonna do is torque them. So like I was saying before, the torque specs are gonna be right on your instructions. If you're using anti-seize on a cast aluminum wheel, then it's gonna be between 15 and 20 foot-pounds of torque. Without using the anti-seize, it's gonna be 18 to 24 foot-pounds torque. So it's important to always make sure that you use a torque wrench when tightening these bolts down, because worst thing you can do again is strip out one of the threads. So in this case, we don't want cross threads is better than no threads. We just want to make sure it's done right because we pay a lot of money for these wheels, so you don't want to wreck them right off the bat. So it's important to use a torque wrench.
And then they also give you a little sticker that reminds you every 200 miles you should retorque these just to check them.
Yeah. Definitely.
Especially you're going to be taking some abuse. So
yeah. The other reason too, not only do you not want to cause any damage to your wheel when torquing down the bolts, but if you're going to be running these out on the trail, you don't want to have bolts that aren't torqued to spec. If they're over torqued, they have the possibility of breaking. If they're not torqued enough, obviously they have the possibility of backing out. So
and
it's
then
just
leaking too. If you're already aired down to 5 pounds, it doesn't take much. Your bolts come loose, you start losing air. You're not going to know until it's flat.
Yep, exactly. So definitely make sure, one of the most important things, torquing your bolts down to the correct specifications. So now that we have them tightened, we're going to go ahead and get them torqued. All right guys, so what you're seeing now is Brent's just going around the whole entire circle after everything's been torqued, just to make sure that there wasn't any bolts that were missed, and just to double check that they're all torqued to the right spec. So now that we're almost done with this, all we gotta do, put some air in it, we'll be good to go. Okay, so what we did again here is we set the tire and the wheel back onto the bucket to put the air in, because we want the backside of the bead of the tire to seat properly. So doing this, we're going to be able to put a little bit of pressure on the tire itself so that there isn't any air leaking out from the backside of the wheel and the rim. Plus, it's a safety thing. We're not going to have to worry about getting our fingers pinched in that bead when it pops.
A few moments later.
There we go.
Cool. What pressure are we at?
We were at like 12, 13.
Yeah, so about 12 pounds of pressure before the backside of the bead of the tire fits around the outer edge of the rim. All right guys, so we just got done putting air in it. Now, to seat the bead on the backside of the wheel, it does depend on how much air pressure you may need. It varies every time. There's no consistent way to know when the backside of the bead is going to seat around the rim of the tire, or rim of the wheel. So it may take 40 pounds of pressure, but one of the things you don't want to do is you don't want to exceed what the tire's rating is for maximum tire pressure to seat the bead on the rim. All right guys, well that has been mounting a tire to a beadlock wheel, the method, the 106. So really, as you guys can see, it's really not that difficult. I mean, it went pretty smooth.
Yeah,
it went without a hitch. It was all in all pretty easy. Just a few tips to remember when mounting your beadlock wheel. But other than that, we're pretty much all wrapped up here. So we're gonna throw this on your truck, and I think we're gonna go do some off-roading. So guys, if you are looking for these method wheels, if you're looking for these tires or any wheels, tires, suspension, accessories for your off-road rig, make sure and check us out at trailbuiltoffroad.com. So besides that, we appreciate all of you for watching. I'm Josh from TrailBuilt. This is
Brent from TrailBuilt.
And we'll see you guys out on the trails. Well, guys, we are now out here by our off-roading spot. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna air down. Actually, we're already aired down, aren't we?
We're down.
Yeah, cool. Well, we're already aired down, so we're just gonna go ahead and put these Method 106 bead locks, put them to the test, see how well they work, have some fun, show you guys some cool stuff. Hang on.